Hello guys, welcome. Today we're gonna be going through levels 5 and 6 for our tier list for early game. Well, we're almost at the mid game and it seems like we're going well. I've been trying to continue with further levels and it seems to be getting a lot more convoluted every time I'm going further up. Every time I'm leveling up, as you can see at level 8, it's going crazy. But yeah, let me guys know if you're enjoying this content and I'll definitely be making more. So, level 5. As you can see, level 5, Sorcerer has the edge on everyone. Now, why is that the case, right? Martial classes at level 5 get their extra attacks. Why aren't they stronger? Well, because caster classes, they get Fireball. And that gives them a massive edge over any melee class. Yes, because you can do 2 attacks with, guess what? I can do a Fireball as an AoE and hit 5 people for 30 damage. So it's really something extreme. So let's look at the cases and then we'll go through the multi-classes. So Barbarians. What's really good about Barbarians and what keeps them, I think, a little bit better than other martial classes is, other than their rage, that adds a little bit of damage, they can also do reckless attack, right? So their Great Weapon Master is going to be very consistent on landing those attacks. So that's a big plus. And if you go Berserker, you can also get that third attack with your bonus action. So just because of that, they're a little bit higher than the average martial class. Now let's look at Warlock. So Warlocks also get Fireball. You don't have to be a Fiend Warlock. I believe the game is a little bit backed in that way. It gives you the option even if you're not a Fiend Warlock. They get more limited spell slots. However, they can do it every short rest. Very good, actually. Clerics are really good at this point. Especially, guys, if you combine Hellrider's Pride at this point with Mass Healing Word, you can give Rage to your entire party while healing them. So, very good. And we have Fighter. Okay, why does Fighter also stay in the AE tier? Fighters get their Action Surge. Now, Action Surge gives you an additional action. So this will give you a lot of burst. So you can actually dish out 4 attacks, and if you kill something with your Great Weapon Master, you can continue and do a 5th attack, right? So while reliably they have less attacks than the Barbarian and they are less tanky, what really gives you the edge here is the burst. Because if you can get on an enemy and burst them down, you can kill an enemy in 1 turn, and that gives your team action economy. You might not be as consistent as a Barbarian, but if you can actually kill an enemy with all that burst, it gives you a massive edge in the fight. Now, why are Sorcerers S+? They're not just S. While other classes get Fireball, the Sorcerer can do 2 Fireballs in 1 turn. So it's not just Fireball, it's 2 Fireballs. And 2 Fireballs is better than 1 Fireball by much. And like we're talking about level 5, your enemies are not going to have a lot of HP. So you can disintegrate entire parties. So Sorcerer, very strong at this point. So let's continue. Paladins. So Paladins get their extra attack. And they do have a lot of burst as well, because they can use their smites. Yes, it's not sustainable for many times over the day, but again, they'll significantly do more damage than Barbarians on turn 1, and maybe even Fighters with Action Surge, because 2nd level smites can do significant damage. It's 3d8 additional to your attacks, and if you can actually hold the other people with your casters while you're attacking them with Paladins and getting that automatic crit, that's very sweet damage. Now, Monks. Why do Monks get S? Monks get that extra attack, right? But they also have Tavern Brawler at this point, and they can do their bonus action Flurry of Blows. Now, I'm talking about Monks of the Open Palm. Well, because they can also use their Flurry of Blows to topple the enemy and apply CC. Regular Monks are just A, like the other classes. Yes, they get 4 attacks. But the reason why they're S is because Tavern Brawler will allow you to add twice your proficiency when you're making attack rolls and to the damage. So with 17 or 18 strength, as much as you're going to have at this point in the game, you can even get it to 20. You can go to the lady that wants the Githyanki egg, and you can get it off her, the strength armor. So you can have 20 strength, which will essentially give you plus 10 to every attack, but you get to make 4 of those, and they are very reliable to hit. You don't even need advantage to hit with those attacks. Whereas Great Weapon Masters do miss quite a lot of the time. Monks almost never do. And you can topple the enemy and get advantage, which will increase your crit rate. So very strong to be a monk at this point. Up next we have bards. Now bards don't get fireball. They do get their inspiration reset for every short rest. So what does that mean? It means that you can do slashing flourish with your bows to enemies, and then with your bonus action do another attack. So it's 3 attacks reliably with sharpshooter, and you can short rest after you've done that every fight and get your bardic inspiration back. So that will actually keep your damage up to date, right? You're gonna be doing 3 attacks every turn, and you can get reliable advantage because you can use stacking barrels. So just because of that, bards are very good. But again, they don't have fireball. They do 3 attacks, but again, it's a little bit conditional, right? If the fight drags on for more than a couple of rounds, you start to run out of flourishes. And it's not persistent. So, alright, not great. Rangers, again, for the same reason, they do get 3 attacks, but if you compare them to a fighter, they have more burst. To a paladin, they have more burst. Barbarians have more damage and more resistance, right? What do the Rangers really get here? Well, I get they get an extra attack on the first turn, but fighters get 2 extra attacks on the first turn, right? If they go Gloomstalker. So, again, they're outshined. If they go the pet route, the pet is not strong enough at this point. It dies to 1 strong attack. So, they start to lose out quite a bit of their value, really. Then, rogues, again, for the same reason as the bard, well, they do get reliably 3 attacks, and they can alter sneak die, so they're pretty okay. But again, their burst is not too high. Their attacks have now been reached by everyone else. Now they're no longer the big boy in the party, right? They're not the highest DPS as they were as plus. They are now down to the B tier. And then wizards are A tier. But why are wizards A tier? Usually I don't like wizards, but why are wizards A tier? Because wizards can do fireball. And fireball is such a strong ability to do reliably. And they can do it a lot of times during the day. Again, just like the Warlock, they're useful. They're not very good, but if you go Divination Wizard, you can even control the enemy's saves, or you can give crits to your allies. It's actually quite good. I know it feels a bit weird because they're very squishy, but they're actually alright. Now, Druids go in the B tier. Again, at level 5, their spells are not that strong. Yes, they get Cold Lightning, that's reliable damage, but compared 3d10 to 86, it just doesn't really do as much. And their shapeshifts, even if you're a Moon Druid, you're not getting enough out of it. It changes at the next level, though. So yeah, this is the current class ratings, guys. Yeah, so sorcerers are leading, then we have monks, and then we have wizards with warlocks and the other fireball classes. And then we have the extra attack classes that can do burst or are very tanky. And then we have the people that can do reliably 3 attacks, but they don't get burst, they don't get a lot out of it. Now, I will say that rogues are actually quite useful at this point in the game. Like, you are gonna need a rogue. You are gonna need to have someone that can steal from your allies, but you can do that with your bard as well. It's really up to you. Keep in mind that what is really cool about rogues at this point in the game is that if you use scrolls, you can actually use a scroll with your action or throw a bomb, and then with your 2 bonus actions still do 2 attacks. So that's actually quite strong. However, it does require consumables, so this is why I'm not considering it as a strong by itself class. Let's look at the level 5 multi-class options now. So, what are some good multi-class options at level 5? To be honest, because the power spikes are so strong at level 5 for individual classes, you don't want to be multi-classing a lot. But let's look at some possible options. I like the Storm Sorcerer because it can do a lot of burst. I'll cue the video here. But they can do 128 damage twice at this point. And if you get a level in Wizard, you can stay up to date with Fireball. Like, you can get a level in Wizard and combine this, but that would be a triple class, right? At this point, this would be a triple class. So triple class it's hard to display, guys. We can't go into 3 dimensions and 4 dimensions. As you know, I do like to go into 3 and 4 multi-class dips in my builds. But yeah, at this point, Storm Sorcerer is very, very strong. I would say the Sorcerer by itself might be a little bit better because of the option to do 2 fireballs. If you go pure Sorcerer, well, 3 Sorcerer and 2 Cleric, you don't have Fireball, and you can't learn Fireball from your Wizard spell list either. And if you do, you can't do 2 of them. I also have here the Wizard Cleric Multiclass. It's a good mention here because you can get Fireball while still getting Cleric, Channel Divinities, and Heals and abilities, so you can have both. And this is actually very strong, but it's not something very wonderful. Like, you're not going to get a lot out of it. It is a little bit better than the pure Cleric, but not enough to move it up a tier. Then we have the Sorcerer Wizard, again for the same reason. You can get access to more spells and some Wizard level 1 spells like Longstrider and Find Familiar and boost your character a little bit. But you're missing out on... Well, actually, you can't do 2 fireballs in 1 turn, so I think this one is more of an S tier. Yeah, you can still do 2 fireballs, but you have more options. I do feel like it's a little bit weaker though, because you're spreading your ability scores too much. So it's still very, very good though. Then there is a fun combo right here where you could go for two levels of Warlock to get Eldritch Blast, and then you can also go three levels of Rogue to get those 2 extra bonus action attacks, and then you can do 2 Eldritch Blasts that do 1d10 plus 5 damage, and then do 2 attacks with your bows. However, you don't have Sharpshooter, right? So it's a fun combo. I would do it for fun. I wouldn't do it for maximum damage. You're probably a little bit outshined by a fighter at this point. Still very fun to play around with, you know? You can go Repelling Blast as well and push enemies into effects. Would be very useful. And if you're good at the game, you might actually make a lot of use out of this. It really depends on how you strategize about it. Okay, yeah, so this is how it is, guys, at this point. Sorcerers by far outshine everyone else in on this level. I am a little bit biased towards Sorcerers, I'm gonna be honest with my builds, but yeah. Okay, now guys, if you enjoy the content, please drop a subscribe. It really helps the channel. Drop a like, watch the video, watch it twice. No, don't watch it twice, you don't have to. But it really helps. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you around.